Hey, you guys. Sorry, I'm a little bit late, actually. Yeah, I am. We're going to be live on YouTube. I just want y'all to know that. But I wanted to come on here. You say we're waiting. You're not waiting on me anymore. I'm here. So, hey, Kiana G and Lovely B. Hey, Sabrina Lee. Hey, Flora's body cam crime and psychology. Sounds like I need to be over on your channel. That's what it sounds like. I need to be over there where you are. Because that's the type of stuff that I like to watch. Y'all, we gotta talk about these men though. We really do. And I feel like again, and I know y'all know some discussions should be had publicly. And I feel like this is one of them. Because when you look at the fact that men are kind of crashing out solely because women want autonomy and they're engaging in these manipulative tactics to try to give the illusion that they are trying to turn you towards your happiness. That's why they keep telling you, even though you already know it's not, even though it's statistically proven, it's that you being in relationships with them does not make you happy. You being independent, single, and on your own makes you happy. Relationships are for men. Men need pair bonding relationships. That's why men started and created pair bonding relationships. It doesn't benefit women to be in pair bonding relationships with men. It benefits men. That's why they're telling you that they want a combined relationship because it guarantees sexual access, it guarantees genetic population, and it literally guarantees that they'll live longer. And so, like, they already know that they don't benefit you in any way. Again, these are parasitic natures. They have parasitic natures. What's my email? You have a story about a bandit that threw a woman in the Miami River. No, I haven't. But I'm pretty sure it was some form of a pick-me or a blackmail worshiper. And we already discussed we're going to see more cases involving these women who don't want to act like they know. But women have an issue with seeing reality for what it is. And I think it's because women are just too easily convinced. They don't ask for evidence. We can tell we live in a society where nobody feels like evidence is important. They simply believe what they're told. And we know this because society can never run this way if people ask for evidence. If people required people prove what they were saying to them, we wouldn't have this reality would not be the same. There would be zero religions would be valid. None of the religions will be valid. Men would probably be obsolete because the one thing that they're hinging all of this on is religion and a male god that they ain't even had to prove to you that he exists. They didn't. Literally, women are worshiping a male deity that they don't know exists. They ain't seen them. Their family ain't seen them. There's no documented sightings of this so-called God except in the Bible. And women believe it. Women believe it. And I'm telling y'all, that's the beginning of the problem. When women realize why they voluntarily chose this belief system and required absolutely no evidence, like women could have at least said, okay, well, we'll believe this when you prove that we can be created from the rib of a man. Create a female from the rib of a man, then we'll believe in your God. Women didn't even require that. They said, oh, you said they're the male God? Bet. Let me just worship them. Didn't need no evidence, didn't need no proof, didn't need no sightings, didn't even need the bones. They didn't even need the bones. They didn't even need the bones. They just believed all of it. Like believe and are still believing all of it with absolutely no proof. Notice how there ain't even no AI generated proof. There ain't even no AI. So they've literally been able to convince women to believe something that's toxic and detrimental to their soul with absolutely no proof or nothing to validate what they told women. And women just believe it. Women just believed it. Didn't need a drop of proof. And we know that's true for many things in society today. We know that's true for many things. It's not just with religion, it's with everything. It's with everything. I see every day as I'm sitting online, I see people creating videos, literally just making up stuff, and I see a bunch of people in the comments not asking for any evidence at all, but just believing it. Just believing it. It blows my mind every day. It blows my mind on how easy it is to get people to believe stuff and they won't question it. Because if we lived in a questioning society, we would know if we lived in a society where people question everything. We do not live in a society where people question everything. We live in a society where people believe without evidence. Meaning most people here are illogical and faith-based. Because if you're believing in religion, you are doing so based on faith. You're not doing so based on evidence. You're doing so based on faith. The belief system requires that you use faith because it can't hold up to any scrutiny and it definitely can't prove anything. So religion would have to be faith-based. It would have to. The only way religion would get through is if it was faith-based and not based on evidence, because there's literally no evidence to substantiate it. There's none. So you couldn't do it based on proof. They can't prove to you that a female was created from the rib of a male. They can't even prove to you that a male can be created from the rib of a male with literally the same genetics, because women don't have the same genetics as men. So you're literally saying you're going to create something out of something that does not possess the genetic ability to create. And that would just need to be shown to me. In order for me to believe something that bizarre, it would have to be shown to me. You're not going to just tell me that a male, and I'm living on a planet where human females are creating and giving birth to children. You're not then going to come disrupt my reality and tell me, no, the origins of this started with a man's rib, and then you just not somehow prove that. Because I'm gonna want to know, okay, if we all started out as part of a man's rib, how did we get to women birthing these children then? Then I'm gonna need somebody would have to bridge that gap for me. There was no bridging of the gap. Women just believed it. Women just believed it. And I think that's a problem that we're not, really thinking about. We're not. We're not trying to really deal with that problem. That the fact that the reason we are here is that we've chosen to believe something without any shred of evidence that it was true. And we still believe in it despite not having any evidence of it being true. Oh, okay. I got to start us on live because we at the top of the hour. So I'm going to go in and put us live on YouTube since we are at the top of the hour. So I made these public. I'm going to go on mute while people come in, and then I'll go back off mute and get on camera. All right, y'all. I used that time to go rinse off my aligners that are pretty much, for right now, my aligners are being used as a retainer until my actual retainer get done, because I'm actually done with the aligners. I just need the retainer, which I'll get on the 18th. And so yeah, right now I had to just go rinse these aligners off and put them back in my mouth. And so we're going to get started here. Actually, I was wanting to let y'all come back in. A lot of people come into the room. Y'all are still coming into the room for the people who are now joining us, because we're live on Patreon already. So if you are not on Patreon, then you are missing out on a lot of my content, which y'all on YouTube asked for. And then somebody made a comment and said, okay, well, there's some of your subscribers who want to watch, but they can't really afford to go subscribe. Yeah, so that's why occasionally we do post videos when the ladies on Patreon warrant it, and I come live on Fridays. But even outside of that, I still get emails and things for people requesting content. And usually the content that they're requesting is already on Patreon. That's why I usually tell them, okay, just go subscribe to Patreon, because the content then, if you're going to make a request, that content is then already on Patreon. So then that's why I would tell people to get on Patreon, because then if you're requesting something specific, it's likely on Patreon already. So that's why I do that. But you guys see the address screen scrolling across the screen. So you see where you can go sign up for it. Or if you want to watch a certain video, just go, you can buy it a la carte. For example, someone emailed me about a specific video that they wanted me to cover, and I responded to them and told them it's on Patreon. So all of my videos, you can buy them as a la carte. So if you just want to go watch my commentary on a specific video, you can just go buy that one video off of Patreon. You can buy access to view that one video off of Patreon if you just want to, and you don't really want to sign up for a membership. Then you can just pay to watch the individual video of the one that you're requesting. So you could do that too. And I did that so it will make it an affordable option, more affordable option for people, because understand, I know what's going on with the economy. I'm affected by it too. So y'all, like, don't get it twisted. Content creators and everyone is affected by the economy. We are too. And even y'all see that my YouTube channel is not monetized, but because when I was on YouTube in the past, when I was monetized so much that I know right now content creators are affected by, because YouTube is affected by it. YouTube's ad revenue, because the way that content creators get paid is through ad revenue being placed on the channel. But in order for that to happen, companies have to have the budget to send the money to Google, and that's how Google pays you. So if we're in inflation and people aren't buying because they don't have the money, then that means the companies aren't paying as much for advertisements, which means when your video is on YouTube, if there's not a lot of advertisers that pay, then that affects your ad revenue. It really does. So everybody's affected by it. So I get it. I definitely get it. And that's why I made it where you can just go and you can just buy one a la carte video if that's what you want to do. Because again, nobody's not affected by the economy. That I promise you. That I can promise. Especially Black content creators. Black content creators are actually going to be affected the most. They just are. And we know that because Black content creators don't get paid the same ad revenue. They don't get the same endorsement opportunities. They don't even get the same push or traction. So, yeah, everybody's affected by this. And that's part of what I wanted to talk about too. as we get into this discussion about men crashing out, because I don't know if y'all have noticed, but men are used to a one-sided relationship where they benefit from it. What they're not used to is having to give anything to a woman. They're not used to reciprocal relationships. They are used to exploitative relationships. So when they tell you that your expectations are too high, what they mean is because you have some expectations at all, because you want me to meet some standards at all. And you don't have to have a long list of them. You can just have one or two of them that you really stand by. It's the fact that they exist at all that's the problem. That's the problem they have. The problem that they have is that you want them to do something that they've never had to do before. That's their problem. You want them to contribute. You want them to give. You want them to reciprocate what you do give, and they don't want to. They don't want to do that. They don't want to learn to become emotionally intelligent. They don't want to learn how to pour into a woman's cup. They don't want to do that. They don't want to better themselves. They don't want to stop being violent. They don't want to change their whole entire nature, because I'm telling y'all, they've already shown you their nature. You can't unsee it. They want you to unsee it, but you can't unsee it. And understand, I'm calling it their nature because it is their nature. Whenever someone, this is actually addressed. So whenever someone has unrestricted ability to show and be who they are without consequence, know that you're dealing with their nature. That's when. So what men have shown you is 100% their undeniable nature. They cannot say that it is not their nature, because if they say it's not their nature, then you have to ask, who was restricting you from having the autonomy to express yourself as a whole person? Who was doing that? And what men can do is men will run around and they'll verbally play victim. But what they won't tell you, though, is who restricted them and prevented them from actualizing their real nature and personality. No one has done that. That was done to women. And because that was done to women, men don't know your actual nature. Men don't know women's actual nature. The ones who created the rules, they know women's actual nature. They know your nature is to not choose them. They know your nature is to be independent, and they know your nature is to have promiscuous sex. That is the nature of the female. Independent, without a pair bonding to a man, promiscuous sex. That is your nature. If you look at nature, females are doing that. Males are not. Males don't have sexual access. Males don't have open sexual access to females in nature. They don't. Males in nature, males don't get to just go pick a female and say, I want her today, so I'm gonna go have her today. That's not how it works in nature. In nature, males only have access to females when they prove that they are worthy of having that access. It just is what it is. And anybody you want to do the research on pair bonding and how unnatural it actually is for humans, that's why it does not work. So what men did is men created an artificial system to remove you from your nature and to make you not act on your nature, but to act how they want you to act. That is what they did. That's why they gave you religion. And all through that religion is sexual control of women, not of men. Monogamy was created not because women said, oh, I just need a man. That's not why. That's not why monogamy was created. And we're going to go to ChatGPT and we're going to ask, who created monogamy and why? We about to go to it and see. We go say, who created monogamy and why? I told this to okay, yeah, okay. Hold on. I told ChatGPT to give me an image to show men crashing out. And I'm about to put it on my YouTube. Hold on. Because y'all know the petty got a, I hate it. The level of control that pettiness has over my existence. So I'm about to put this thumbnail up. Y'all can feel free at any point. It's too big. Hold on, y'all. Let me just put it on a PowerPoint slide so they can stop talking about it's too big. You will still get to see it. It's saying that the file is too big, that ChatGPT, great resolution, by the way. Great resolution, great imagery. Shout out to ChatGPT. If y'all not using it, you missing out. Because I'm telling you, ChatGPT know what it's doing. I said, create me the image of men crashing out. And it said, okay, I got you. Let me show you men crashing out because that's really all that it is. All that it is. Your nature drives you to be independent. Their nature is codependent. So now we got a problem here. What happens when deeply codependent runs up against naturally independent? Because that's what females are. They have to be. They have to be. It just is what it is. You have to be naturally independent in order for you to find the best offspring. I mean, obviously humans can do it a little differently if they want to, but your nature is actually your natural sexual is promiscuity. It just is. And that's why men decided to create monogamy, because your nature is not compatible with theirs. So we're going to go to ChatGPT really quickly. He asked it, what do men naturally provide for women? So let's get on here, because I've already asked it this question. Let me share the screen with y'all, because I really do need women to really understand what they're dealing with. And I think that because women have been brainwashed so extensively, you've been sold a false narrative of males. You've been told that they're the knight in shining armor, they're the protectors, they're the providers. They didn't tell you that you actually need protection from them. They didn't tell you that men can't protect you because men have too much of an allegiance to toxicity in other men. And them protecting you from other men would require that men are honest about themselves. Okay, here we go. Now I'm back. Now I'm back. Sorry about that. Y'all should be able to hear now. Okay, y'all should be here. Let me show y'all the thumbnail. Hold on, let me show y'all the thumbnail. Here's my thumbnail. If y'all haven't went and looked at it, if you haven't went and looked at it, look, here's the thumbnail. Yeah, my internet went out for whatever reason. Here's my thumbnail on men crashing out. Men crashing out because they need women, but women don't need them. This is them. This is them right here, and this is the crash out. Okay? But let's add who created monogamy? Who created monogamous relationships? I may have spelled that wrong, but ChatGPT wrong. And what was the reason for doing so? Now, we're going to let that come down, but we're going to switch really quickly because I need women to understand the problem with these males. So, here's the problem with these males. The problem with these males is that some of the restrictions on you have been removed. Some of the oppressive pictures have been removed. And the oppressive pictures that have been removed are the ones that prohibited you from having independence. If those were the laws that men created and zero men did anything about it, because I want y'all to understand that prior to the women's suffrage movement, when you were sitting up all that time with no rights, being severely oppressed and beaten and exploited, yeah, most men were okay with that. Most men were okay with that. You said the audio's not working? Okay, well, let's check the audio settings. So, how are we doing now? Are we still staticky? If it's boarding, that's an issue with, um, yeah, so that's more of an issue than, let me just see something if I change it. Let me just see. Hold on. How are we doing now? Now, how are we doing? If it's still the same, then yeah, then it's not me, then it's not my audio. Because I just switched between two different audios. So if it sounds robotic, I think it's more of a YouTube connection than anything. Let me check where my connection is. It says the connection is excellent, but that doesn't make any sense. Because if we had an excellent connection, then we would be done. You said restart, yeah, the connection is good. So let me leave out of the StreamYard and come out. Let me out of that. Yeah, I don't think that it's a Patreon issue. Yeah, let me listen to my playback because I don't hear what y'all hear. So I need to listen to the playback really quickly. Let me listen to the playback because I don't hear anything that y'all hear. The playback on YouTube won't even play. Yeah, y'all, this is a YouTube thing. Yeah, no, this is YouTube. Hey, y'all,